Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into something I know a lot of you are curious about, making money online. Specifically, all those clever strategies using social media. You sent us this really interesting video breaking down 10 different ways to do it. So today, we're going to pull out the most interesting stuff and maybe even spark some new ideas for you.
Yeah, what I thought was really cool about this video is that it doesn't just focus on the obvious, like becoming an influencer. It actually digs into some less common approaches that might be a better fit depending on what you're good at and what you're interested in.
For sure. I mean, social media isn't just about connecting with friends anymore.
Right.
It's like this huge marketplace now with all kinds of ways to make money.
Absolutely.
The video starts off by, reminding us how people use social media for communication, inspiration, entertainment, and even knowledge.
Right. And within each of those areas, there's definitely potential to make money.
Yeah. Like take online courses, for example. That's all about taking what you already know, your expertise, and turning it into something that other people will pay for.
Yeah, they use a great example in the video, a marketer who's really successful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they put together these courses teaching people like the tricks of the trade, and it really gets you thinking, what do you know that you could package into a course? What unique skills do you have that other people would be willing to learn from?
That's a great point. Now, what about digital products? Those are a little different from courses, right?
Yeah, definitely.
They're more about like providing a solution to a specific problem, and they often have the benefit of generating like that passive income everyone's always talking about.
Right, like that freelancer's writing template they mentioned.
Oh, yeah. That was brilliant.
Yeah, it solves a real problem for freelancers, saving them time and effort. And the person who created it can just keep selling it over and over again. So, what do you have that could help other people in that way? Like, do you have any tools or templates that you could turn into a product?
That's worth thinking about. Now, let's talk about something a little more familiar. Becoming an influencer. It's all about building trust and credibility, right? But within a specific niche.
Yeah, for sure.
The video uses this example of a cosmetics brand and how they work with influencers to reach their target audience. Because people trust recommendations from people they follow, especially when it feels genuine and aligns with the influencer's whole brand, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So the question is, what niche could you become an influencer in?
Right. What are you passionate about? What are you really knowledgeable about?
Yeah. Okay, so next up we have affiliate marketing. This is something we've touched on before, but it's worth revisiting.
Excellent.
Especially in this context.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's basically sharing products or services that you love, that you genuinely use and believe in. And you earn a commission for every sale that's made through your unique referral link.
And it's a win-win for everyone involved. The brand gets exposure, the customer gets a great product, and you make some money.
Yeah, everybody wins. Okay, then we get into this idea of building paid communities or offering subscriptions. This is about cultivating that deeper connection with your most engaged followers and giving them something exclusive. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Like a VIP experience for your biggest fans. It could be behind the scenes content, Q&A sessions, early access to your work, anything that gives them that extra value.
Yeah.
So think about it. What could you offer a dedicated community? What would make them willing to pay for that special access?
That's a good question. And then there's consulting, coaching, and mentoring. This is where all those years of experience you have can really shine. And it's different from creating a course because it's much more personalized. It's one-on-one guidance, right?
Right, exactly. You're basically becoming a trusted advisor, helping people overcome specific challenges or achieve their goals. Think about your own journey. What insights could you offer through, those one-on-one sessions? What have you learned that could really benefit someone else?
Interesting. And then, of course, there's the social media manager.
Yeah.
The SMM.
Yeah. The unsung heroes of the social media world.
Right. The video gave a really good rundown of what they do.
It's a lot.
Oh, yeah. Strategy, content creation, community management, advertising, data analysis, the list goes on and on. It's a pretty demanding role. But the video actually mentioned that there's a whole other video that dives deep into SMM as a career path.
Oh, cool. So if anyone out there is interested in that specifically, that they can check that out.
Yep.
Okay, so what about selling merchandise? This is for the creative folks, the people who love branding. It's about taking your brand and turning it into physical products that your followers can buy and, show off. Yeah. And they talked about this print-on-demand option, which I thought was really cool. It basically takes care of all the production and shipping for you. You don't have to worry about inventory or any of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier to get started.
So think about your own brand or your online presence. Could it translate into physical products? T-shirts, mugs, whatever.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless.
They really are.
Okay, so then they move into content monetization, which is, what a lot of people think of when they think of making money online, especially on platforms like YouTube or TikTok. You basically enable monetization on your content, and the platform shows ads to your viewers. And you get a cut of the revenue based on, how many views and engagement you get.
And the video emphasizes that it takes time and effort to build an audience big enough to really make significant money that way.
It's a long game.
You have to be patient.
Yeah, definitely.
And finally, they're selling creative assets. This is for all the designers, photographers, illustrators, anyone who creates digital or visual content. They can sell their work online.
Mm-hmm.
And the video highlighted Instagram is a great platform for this. You can showcase your work, connect with potential clients, really build a following and maybe even land some paid gigs. So what creative skills do you have? Could you turn those into income?
It's really amazing how much opportunity there is out there, right?
It is.
But like with anything else, there are some key actions you need to take and some pitfalls you need to avoid. The video breaks it down really well.
Yeah, they talk about 3 main actions: identifying your niche, optimizing your profiles, and creating engaging content. Let's start with identifying your niche. What does that mean exactly?
Well, it's about finding that specific area of focus where you can really excel. You want to become the go-to expert in your chosen domain. So what are you really passionate about? What do you know more about than anyone else?
Right. And then optimizing your profiles.
Yeah.
That's all about making a good first impression.
Yeah.
Your profiles are like your virtual storefronts, right? They need to be visually appealing, informative, and they need to reflect your brand.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to think about your target audience. What kind of images and messaging are going to resonate with them? What information do they need to see to understand what you offer?
Yeah. And of course, you need to be creating engaging content. That's the whole point. The video suggests following the 60-30-10 rule for content balance. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah, it's a classic.
But what is it exactly?
Basically, 60% of your content should be interesting and relevant to your niche, providing value and insights to your followers. 30% can be curated content from other sources just to kind of keep things fresh and show that you're in the loop. And then 10% can be dedicated to promoting your own products or services.
Oh, okay. So it's about finding that balance between providing value and promoting yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to overwhelm people with sales pitches, but you also want to make sure you're letting them know what you have to offer.
Right, right. Now, what about those pitfalls to avoid? What did the video say about that?
They highlighted 5 common mistakes. Using a one-size-fits-all approach for every platform, not knowing your audience, overposting content, being unethical with advertising, and focusing too much on sales. We can dive into those in more detail after a quick break.
All right, so let's get back to those 5 common mistakes people make when they're trying to, make money on social media. We left off with that one-size-fits-all approach, thinking that what works on one platform is automatically going to work on another.
Yeah, that seems pretty obvious, but I can see how it'd be easy to fall into that trap, especially if you're, just starting out and you're excited to get your content out there.
Right, exactly. But it's really important to remember that each platform has its own unique audience, its own culture, its own best practices.
Right.
What works on Instagram might totally bomb on LinkedIn. Yeah, that makes sense.
You really have to tailor your content to each specific platform.
So knowing your audience is key. The video really hammers that point home.
Oh, absolutely. You need to know who you're talking to. What are their demographics? What are their interests? What are their pain points? What are they, looking for? And there are actually, analytics tools you can use to get a better understanding of your audience. It's like having a window into their world.
That's pretty cool. Now, what about overposting? I think we've all been guilty of that at some point.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You think, okay, more content equals more visibility. But that's not always the case, is it?
Yeah, you can definitely have too much of a good thing.
Exactly. You want to stay top of mind, but you don't want to bombard people with so much content that they just get overwhelmed and tune out. It's all about finding that balance.
Right.
You want to be consistent, but you also have to respect people's time and attention.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And then there's ethical advertising, which is especially important when you're talking about sponsored content or affiliate marketing.
Oh, for sure.
Transparency is key. Right.
Absolutely. You have to be upfront about any relationships you have with brands And you have to be clear about why you're promoting their products. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to trust. If people don't trust you, they're not going to buy from you.
Yeah, and that trust can be broken pretty easily if you're not careful.
Exactly. And then the last pitfall they mentioned was being too focused on sales, which, I mean, it's kind of ironic, right? Because the whole point is to make money.
Right. But if all you're doing is pushing products, people are going to be turned off.
Exactly. People are drawn to content that's valuable, content that entertains them or inspires them or teaches them something new. So, building relationships and fostering trust should always be the priority.
Right.
And then when you've established yourself as someone who's credible and valuable, the sales will come naturally.
Yeah. And the video really stresses that it takes time and effort and a willingness to experiment. There's no magic bullet.
Yeah, for sure. It's a journey. It's not a destination.
And there are going to be ups and downs. Right?
Oh, absolutely. There'll be times when you feel like giving up. But if you stay focused on your goals and you keep creating great content and you're genuine in your interactions with people, you can achieve amazing things.
And it's important to celebrate those small wins along the way. Like each new follower, each positive comment, it all adds up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like giving yourself a little pat on the back. Acknowledge the progress you're making, no matter how small.
Right. Now, let's talk about something that doesn't always get enough attention. The mental side of being an online entrepreneur. All the challenges that come with building a business online.
Oh, you mean like the mindset?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's huge. It takes a lot of resilience, You have to be adaptable. You have to be willing to learn and grow constantly.
Yeah. And it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget to take care of yourself.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So what advice would you give to someone who's, struggling with the mental and emotional demands of running their own business online?
Well, I think the most important thing is to be kind to yourself. Remember that this is a marathon, not a sprint. It's okay to take breaks. It's okay to celebrate your wins. And it's okay to not be perfect all the time.
Yeah, that's such a good point. It's so easy to get caught up in comparing yourself to others and feeling like you're not doing enough. And having a supportive community can make a huge difference.
Oh, absolutely. Connect with other creators, entrepreneurs, mentors, people who understand what you're going through. Share your struggles, celebrate your wins, learn from each other's experiences. It's amazing how much that can boost your morale.
Yeah. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about those 10 methods for making money on social media, the key actions, the pitfalls to avoid, and even the importance of mindset. Now, let's circle back to those methods for a minute and think about how they might align with, different personality types or lifestyles.
Oh, that's a great point. Like someone who loves working independently and can really focus might be really good at creating online courses or developing digital products.
Right. Whereas someone who's more extroverted, who loves interacting with people, might find success as an influencer or a coach or a community builder.
Yeah, exactly. It's about finding what feels natural to you, what you enjoy doing.
Yeah, and you don't have to limit yourself to just one method either, right? You could combine different approaches. Like maybe you start by building a following on Instagram, and then you use that platform to promote your affiliate marketing links. And then down the road, you launch your own line of merchandise.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless.
They really are. It's pretty inspiring to think about all the different ways people are using social media to create their own opportunities and build businesses that they're passionate about. But we have to remember that social media is constantly changing, right? What works today might not work tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. Which is why it's so important to keep learning and adapting. Stay curious, experiment with new approaches, never stop refining your strategy.
Right. And the video didn't really get into specific tools or resources for staying updated on all the latest trends. Do you have any recommendations?
Oh, yeah, for sure. There are tons of industry blogs and online forums that are just gold mines of information. And look for communities where, social media marketers and online entrepreneurs are hanging out. You can learn a lot from other people's experiences.
Right. And a lot of social media platforms have their own educational resources, too.
Yeah, they do.
So it's all about being proactive, right?
Yeah.
Taking ownership of your learning journey.
Exactly. Don't just wait for information to come to you. Go out there and seek it out.
That's great advice. Well, this has been an amazing deep dive into the world of social media monetization. I figure we've covered so much ground. But before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Something I've been thinking about lately is what if we could combine the power of, artificial intelligence with the human side of social media marketing. It's a pretty exciting frontier.
Yeah, AI is already making a big impact on marketing, automating tasks, analyzing data, personalizing content. It's kind of mind-blowing to think about how these tools can amplify our efforts and help us achieve even more.
Oh, for sure. But I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool, right? It's not a replacement for human creativity and ingenuity.
Yeah. At the end of the day, social media is about human connection, building relationships, creating engaging content, fostering those genuine interactions. That's stuff that AI can't replicate.
Right. It's about finding that sweet spot, that synergy between human creativity and AI. We can use AI to, analyze trends, optimize campaigns, streamline processes. That frees up our time and energy to focus on the human side of things.
This deep dive has been a great reminder that social media is, well, it's always changing, but it's full of opportunity for anyone who's willing to adapt and learn. But amidst all the strategies and techniques, there's one thing that really stands out to me.
What's that?
Authenticity.
Yeah.
Being genuine, being transparent, being true to yourself. That's what really matters.
I totally agree. People can sniff out a phony a mile away. Building trust is essential, and trust is built on authenticity. It's about letting your true self shine through, sharing your unique voice, your perspective, your values.
So to everyone out there who's feeling inspired to explore making money on social media, remember this. Be yourself, be passionate, be authentic, and never be afraid to experiment.
Yeah. And most importantly, have fun. I mean, what's the point of all this if you're not enjoying the ride?
That's so true. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of social media monetization. Hopefully you've picked up some valuable insights and you're feeling inspired to take action.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating,
and keep diving deep.